Good morning, everyone. Are you hearing me? I think there is participants coming, so I'm going to wait few minutes. Okay, everyone, are you hearing me? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So today is our officially term to first class. I know you all are very unhappy, but we have to go through it. So today, although I today class started, but I'm not going to give lectures that too much of the term to courses. I'm just going to review something or gossiping or introducing each other because I don't know any one of you and you don't know me, and this is not a physical classroom, and you will see me, you will know me somehow, but I will not know any one of you. Only 11 participants joined, and I don't know how much student of you have. I guess up to 60 or 61, because all the other CSC students have this much student. So I guess it's between 55 to 60. So I guess 11 participants not coming anymore, or oh yeah, they're coming. Okay, I'm just going to introduce myself first. I hope you don't know me physically, or you have seen me. I don't know. Just let me introduce myself. I'm Kamrun Nahar Keya, lecturer of mathematics, MIST. I have joined MIST last year in September, so I'm very new, and I have experience of taking CSE department classes because after joining, I have always taken CSE department classes in the three terms. This is my three terms running. So this is my professional information, and as for academic, I have completed my bachelor's and master's from University of Dhaka, Mathematics Department. So this is my personal information, and I, if it was in the physical classroom, I have asked some of you some questions, but in the online session, I don't want to ask anything to you. And the most saddest part is I will not any one of your faces. I hope this situation of this pandemic just goes away very fast because I miss physical classroom. Okay, today you know that what is the topics of our class, but I'm going to discuss the course of this course and how to conduct this class and which is we are going to learn. Basically, I'm just sharing the outline of this course. Okay, I have shared this file with all of you in MST website. I have sent the files and necessary documents to upload in MIST website. Don't know if they are uploaded or not. Just check it there. But the main thing is whatever I'm going to share or whatever I'm going to teach or say or anything, any kinds of materials, I'm going to share everything. Beforehand, I have shared it in the MST website, but after that, I'm going to share the updated version in Google Classroom. So all of you need to be in my Google Classroom class so that I can communicate each one of you. I can get the problem of each one of you uh, personally, because in the other hand, if you have any question or any problem, if you just call me, you it will only solve your problem. But if you left your problem, your question in the Google Classroom, after seeing the answer, another person's complaint or problem will be vanished. So it will be easier for all of you who don't want to ask questions. They are introverted students. I know they don't want to ask questions, but they have problems. So in the classroom, one person asks and other person already get answers. Yeah, here the problem is if you ask personally, the other person if they have same question, they will not know. So use the Google Classroom to ask anything. So and this is the one kind of thing. And another thing is I always like to give assignments. This is very bad for students. They don't like to have assignments, but I always like to give assignments. I will give all of you assignments. In the whole term too, I think I'll give two assignments. It will be helpful to get the performance of your I mean, if you are listening me my lectures or you are following my lectures, it will show how much you are learning from my class. Okay. And as for assignments, you don't need to worry. It will be easy, or you will have enough time to solve it. And it will I will give the first assignment after 2 weeks or 3 weeks later, so you don't need to worry it right now. And for this course, Math 247, the name is very big: complex variable, Laplace transform, and statistics. There is three parts. So my part will be complex variable and statistics. I'm going to give lectures about complex variable and statistics. Laplace transformation will take another lecturer or another instructor. So my part is complex variable and statistics. You know there is two parts: complex variable and statistics. So our syllabus is huge. Our syllabus is huge. But the fact is complex variable is very interesting and very easy to learn. So you will not going to have any problem regarding complex variable. Statistics is very lengthy types of thing, but the syllabus we are covering here is basically very elementary, not so difficult. So I think you will not have any problem regarding statistics too. And as for online classes, I will start from statistics because it is very lengthy. Taking statistics class in the classroom, I preferred slideshow or PowerPoint presentation. So basically the same thing. I take classes in the classroom, I'll use the PowerPoint presentation or projector. Here I'm going to use the Zoom and screen sharing. So for statistics part, there is not so much difference because definition there is so much definition and so much. The math is looks so huge. The statistics problem is the math is bigger than the answer. In the other types of courses, the question or problem was 1 or 2 line, answer was 2 or 3 pages. But in statistics case, you will get one pages questions, but the answer will be 2 or 3 lines. So these types of course is better taking class in online. And then we'll start after completing the statistics part. We'll start complex variable. Complex variable is very easy and uh, very easy. Actually, very easy, and your syllabus is not so large, so you'll enjoy it. I have shared three reference book for complex variable. This is the first one, and I'll only use this one book. You will get PDF version of this book. It's available in any internet, so you can just download it, or I will just share it with you. And for statistics part, there is huge number of books for statistics. I will use at least 4 or 5 books for statistics because one part is better in one book, but other part is not. So it's better try to keep one book in your collection but carefully follow my lectures, because in every lectures I will use at least two or three books as a reference. So I sometimes I always forget which part I take from which books, because the properties or the introduction, the materials is very similar, but something is very different that I took on from one lectures, or I have found that this topic is easier from these books, this topic is easier from that book, so I just collect there and just collage it. So for statistics part, you better just follow my lectures and keep one book. Since you are not going to getting to the market right now, so I didn't give any Bengali books. You can find these two books in the internet. These two books, any kind of English writers books are available in internet. I think you already know. Any kind of outside Indian books and Bangladeshi books. These two books are not available in with internet, but any kinds of other books, I mean other series or other publication from international. These books are very available in the internet. I'll share with complex variable when the we'll start the complex variable chapter, and statistics part is going to be start from tomorrow, but today we are going to just introduction part. This is our material. We'll try to cover statistics in 10 classes, at most 11 or 12, and the rest part will learn complex variable. And this is the material. I'll share it with you in Google Classroom. So officially our class started now, and uh, all of you give your attendance in the chat box. I need all of your attendance. Give all of you your attendance in the chat box. Only you will give your attendance. Don't give another person attendance, or don't write anything that another person is facing problem or something like that. If you don't put down your attendance or your role ID in the chat box, you are going to be absent. So put down your attendance in the chat box. And okay, I think you are not giving your roll numbers in the chat box. All of you, please give your roll number in the chat box, and only write your roll number. Don't try to write your friend's roll number, and also, never share that your friend is facing problem. Your friend can contact with me personally. I'll share my phone number and email address in this outline, which I shared just right before. There is a contact information of how to contact with me, or there is also a Google Classroom. Your friends or your anyone who are unable to join or having any problem, they can share it there with me. So you just write down your only your roll number. Any question, any of anything before starting formal class? Roman Al Asif, are you there? Am I not sharing or you're not speaking?
Hello. 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 Assalamu alaikum, Miss.
Wassalam. How are you?
I'm fine.
Okay, I feel like I have see you somewhere. I don't know where, but I'm not asking anything. I'm just seeing the voice is clear or not, because sometimes I face some problem regarding voice. So my voice is clear.
Yes, Miss. আমি গত টার্মে সিএসসি 18 এর সাথে ক্লাস করছিলাম 247। আমার এই টার্মে এটা রিটেক।
That's why you're I'm that feeling that you're very familiar. Okay, good to have someone I know. Okay, thank you. And since my voice is clear, maybe last year I took this class, but I have give lectures of Laplace transformation. I didn't have taken complex variable, but this time I am taking complex variable and statistics. So I hope you will not feel any. I don't know what I have done in the physical classroom last year because that time I was very new. So let's just start a very formal introduction of today's lectures. It's very introductory and very simple basic things. So you don't need to feel burden of these slides because if you don't participate in this class, you are not I try that today's topics will be very easy because today is our first class and first class of term 2 and first class of term 2 online session or everything of this term 2. This is our first class, so I have tried to give a very easy topics of statistics. As I said, I'm going to start with statistics, and after finishing statistics topics, we are going to learn complex variable. Complex variable is name is complex, but it's very easy, so you don't need to panic about that. And as for statistics, all the syllabus we have in statistics is basically very preliminary or very easy level. So using this online session for statistics part is very useful, I think. So I am going to start with the statistics part. And whenever we have started to learn statistics, the first question arises: what is statistics, and why we use it, and why we need to use it, and why we are learning it. That is the most dangerous question: why we are learning it. So at first we say what is statistics. Statistics basically is collecting data and presenting it. If we want to say it very easy, is collect something from somewhere and put it together and make a result. As for example, if I want to take some data from CSC level 2 students that they are enjoying my class or not. So we are getting some data and I am collecting it from CSC department level 2 students. So this is collecting and then I'll organize it, summarize it, analyze it, and after that I'll draw some conclusion and making some decision that they are getting interest or not. This is what statistics all about. It's making a decision if you are doing right or not, if you are having fun or not, if you are going to do something that you are not sure you have right decision or not. So just take a survey of previous all the person who have done the same thing, then you will get a approximate result that your decision is right or wrong. This is the part of statistics and why you will need it. Basically, most kind of subject are engineering or doctors or mathematicians or economists or social scientists or any kind of subject. There is no subject that a statistics doesn't come because when you are going to learn engineering, suppose you are testing a algorithm and you need to know that this algorithm is useful or not. How to do that? You just take a survey. You let 100 people use the algorithm you made and take a survey from them. If most of them say that this is easy, then it's obviously easy. And if most of them say that it is not easy, then you need to make it better to make it more easy. So basically, that's why engineers need to learn statistics. This is not only reason, there is more and more reasons. in the job field, in the education field, in the everywhere we need statistics to know that we are what we are doing or what we want to do will have a better impact in future or in present, and we get this from our past results. And for statistics there is some basic term we will always um, see. And as far as I said, we collect data. And where from we collect data? We collect data from a, as I said, I wanted to collect data from our observation from CSE department. So this CSE department, we can say that it is a sample. I mean a sample. Because CSE department is a small part of MIST. Then we can use this sample to make a decision of whole MIST. Then whole MIST will be our population. So population is a whole collection of our uh, participant who we want to study. So we always can't go through the all students. So what we do, we take a number of limited students and we call them sample. That means in the population, from the population, we take few students or few participants or few people to study, and we call them sample. And what we collect from them, and that is called data. I mean, what we need to know and collected from them, it is known as data. This is the very basic, very known and very important term in statistics. There are more terms will come often when we going to learn. This is up to this part. I think you will you have a little bit of understanding. So I have started from this part today because today we are not going to go through any details or anything that is new. So I have given something that we are very familiar with. We know very we knows we don't know exact definition of population, but we know what population means. We know that population means the whole kinds of thing. If it is for human, we can say that the whole population of world. If it is for insects, we can say that the whole insects, whole kinds of insects of this universe. As for if we want to take it as for chordata types animal, then it will be all kinds of animals who have bones. So this is what population. And as for example, if we take a small portion of this whole population, suppose we want to, what can I say? Human is the most perfect example. So in this Bangladesh, there is now right now is pandemic is going. So if you search in Google, you will see that there is huge kind of statistical diagram for COVID-19. And this diagram is making decision or predicting for future what will be happen. This prediction and thing was taken from the previous data. I mean, when the pandemic or the virus infected, after that how are they increasing, and after that right now how they behaving, and then they predict what will be the case. But you will see that this figure is different for each country. For each country, it has a different types of scenery, different types of bar or diagram for statistical data. So this country we can consider it as a sample, and if we consider all the countries' information and predict for the whole world that our Earth is going to live with us or without us. I mean, they are going the environment or the virus where they are going to vanish the human or not. We are going to predict this by collecting the whole sample. I mean, this if we collect the whole sample, I mean whole countries together, that will be population, and that means the whole earth. So I think we are all know what this sample and population means. So whenever we are going to use the term population and whenever we are going to use the term sample, you need to know what it means. participant is not increasing. Any question up to this point? Uh, Ahnaf Rajak, do you have any question?
Now, miss, clear, miss. Miss, so far it's clear.
Rajak, are you there?
Yes, miss. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Miss, so far it's clear. No problem.
Thank you so much. I don't know I'm going to go further or not. It's up, deciding upon you. Do all of you want to go proceed further? Please, there is some more basic properties. I think I can share something more. Okay. So whenever we are learning statistics, we are making decision, we are want to learn what will be the decision. There is some tools to make that decision, and measure of central tendency is one of them. It is also preliminary types of problem. That's why I included to this topic. So measure of central tendency means central means what? The middle value. We know that the central means something in the middle. So we want to know that what is the most favorite part or what is the middle value of anything. That types of things we say that measure of central tendency. And to know these types of thing, we have very commonly uses some properties, which is we know that mean, median, mode. Mean, we know what is mean. Mean is basically finding the average. It is the most common thing we have learned from the school level. Finding mean. We have three numbers. We have to find mean. What we do? We just add the three numbers and divide it with three. We get the mean value. So mean is our most interesting, most easiest, and most usable or most frequently usable properties of central tendency. There is three kinds of mean: arithmetic mean, geometric mean, and harmonic mean. These two and three I'm not going to give lectures today because I think it is a little bit different. But the arithmetic mean, you have a clear idea about this. That's why I'm going to give it today. Arithmetic mean. As I said, finding average. Arithmetic means finding average. If we have so we have four numbers. One, two, three, four. We have four numbers, and if we want to find the average, we just add the four numbers, and then we just divide it with four. Then we get a average, which will be the average value of all. And what we need to know that's mean. Because we need to know that whenever we are going to take data for a sample from a sample, we are basically taking that. For example, we are taking data from 20 people. That means we have 20 numbers of people, and the 20 people are giving different values of their result. I mean, if we are going to ask about their age, so we are asking 20 people what is their age. There will be a very few chances that they are going to say the same age together. So basically, some will say that there is 25 or 26, some will say there is 30, and some will say there is 40, and some will say there is 60. So for the whole data, we need to find a exact value which will be the mm, which will be very close to everyone. So that's why we don't take population, we take sample, because in population age could be 1 year, or age could be 5 years, or age could be 65 years, or age could be 100 years. So if we take sample and get a restriction that the age must be 25 to 40, then the age will be in the same range that mean does not give a very different result. So in this is a this is a thing that we need to learn mean. So if we have in mathematical definition, if we have n real numbers x1 x2 up to xn, and then if we need to find out the arithmetic mean, this is always denoted by x bar. Arithmetic mean is always denoted by x bar. So x bar is equal to x1 plus x2 plus dot 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 plus xn divided by n. Here is a thing you need to know. Whenever we're finding the mean for sample, we're going to denote it by x bar. But if the sample is equal to population, I mean we are using the whole population, then the mean will be used as mu, the Greek letter mu. Okay, I think I'll stop right here and just showing one example. Okay, I'm showing this example. Okay, calculate mean, mode, and median. I'm just showing this mean part. We have data from a telephone company, and they take a random sample of 65 customers about their billing charge. I mean, what is their billing, or what is the amount of their bill. So this is the data we collected. They collected from 65 customers. Okay, huge numbers. See. So if we want to find the mean of these 65 customers, what you need to do, if we just follow so what is it say for our regular formula, which is you have to add all 65 data and then divide by 65, which is very difficult, because if you just miss one value, you will not get exact result. So as I said, we using this formula is the first types of formula that arises. You can use this formula, but it will be very lengthy and very difficult if the sample is big size. It can be easier if the sample is 10 to 20, but it is more than that. It has 65 or 100 or 200, then it is not very easy to calculate using the previous formula, which is this one. So there is another formula to find the arithmetic mean, and this is it. I mean, we have to at first group the data and then use this formula, which is looks very difficult, but actually not difficult. In this case, we actually need to find out the frequency. Here is our frequency. Frequency means, say that we have taken in the previous example I have said 65 customers are saying their billing charge. So some say that they have billed 20 taka, and someone says 21 taka, someone again says 20 taka, someone says 22 taka, and after this we have, if we have 65 outcomes, you will see that 10 persons say that their bill is 20, and 5 persons says that their bill is 5. So when where is 5 persons says that their is bill is 5, so their, if 5 persons says that their bill is 20, then for bill 20 the frequency is 5. I mean 20 comes 5 times in the whole data. Say the example again. Mm, see 15, here is 115, here is 115, here is 115, here is 115. So 15 comes more than once. And as for 14, here is 114, here is 114, here is 114. So 14 also comes more than once. So this is kind of that one value comes more than once. So this is frequency. If it comes more than once, the total numbers of their coming is the frequency. Processing of this, I don't know. No, I'm going to give the processing of summarizing this data next class, because summarizing this data with the frequency is the main part to find the mean and mode and median, because the regular or very ancient types of formula, we can say that this is ancient type of formula. This formula is not very useful for big data, so we need to find out another way to uh, use a formula to save our time. So up to today, this is our lectures, and if you have any question, you can ask me right now. I'll share this slide and video lectures in the Google Classroom, and also I'll share the course material and course outline also in the Google Classroom. So any questions? Okay, if no one has any question, I'm going to stop today's class. And as for we have another class, I don't know who I'll take in class, maybe Monday. Okay, we have another class in Monday in 11 a.m. We'll see you there, and I will be hoping more participants in the next class. Okay, everyone, thank you for participating, and see you in the next class. Stay safe, stay home, and stay going with in any crowded place. Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sherry, you wanna say something?
Ma'am, everything is clear to this class. Thank you.
Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you for your feedback. See you in the next class. Goodbye.